Shalom. I want to begin a lesson off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim, Rakaha Kodash. Double blessing and honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Coming at y'all with another lesson through the spirit. Just want to talk about something that occurred earlier today. Something that I seen on my feed earlier today. Matter of fact, I was gonna do a lesson on. So, Lord willing, the lesson be edifying to those out there listening and watching. So with that, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. It says, earthquake in Afghanistan leaves more than 800 dead. It says, according to reports, at least 800 people were deleted and over 1,300 injured after a 6.0 magnitude earthquake struck near Jalalabad, Afghanistan, late Sunday, Taliban officials said. Right, and it says our thoughts and prayers go out to all affected by this tragedy, which is one thing that people of the world don't understand. The Lord is the one who sends out the plagues and who brings forth judgment upon the earth, which is what we're going to be going into in this lesson. Now, I want to say that there was another earthquake that happened. And I could be wrong. It could be this one I'm thinking of. Yeah, that's why I thought it was one in Alaska the other day. Oh, no, there was one in Alaska today. That's what I thought. Alaska's been being hit with earthquakes this past few days. A lot of them, matter of fact. But nonetheless, we're going to go ahead and get into the scriptures, man. I'm probably going to read a little bit of this article, if not the whole thing. But it reads, it says at least 800 dead, 2,500 injured, and an entire village is wiped out as perfect storm. Earthquake rocks Afghanistan. And I like the fact that they said entire villages because I have a precept that's going to line up with that perfectly. This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 3, and verse 5, and it reads, it says, the just Yahweh is in the midst thereof, he will not do iniquity. Every morning doth he bring his judgment to light, he faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame. Right? So as you can see, man, the Lord is the one who brings forth judgment, right? Same as what it says in the book of Deuteronomy, the 32nd chapter, and going on to the 39th verse, where it speaks on the Lord wounding and healing and killing and making alive, right? The Lord is a just Lord, and everything that he does is justified.
Strong's H, 4941. Mishpat. Mishpat.
This is the word for judgment. It says a sentence, decision of judgment, execution of judgment, right? It says, to be judged, judgment, justice, justly, manner of, lawful, manner, measure, due, order, ordinance, right, sentence, useless, worthy, wrong. And I said that it was a good thing they said that is because verse 6 says, I have cut off the nations, their towers are desolate. I made their streets waste, that none passeth by. Their cities are destroyed, so that there is no man and there is none inhabitant, right? I said, surely thou wilt fear me. Thou wilt receive instruction, so their dwelling should not be cut off. Howsoever I punished them, but they rose early and corrupted all their doings. Now, of course, it's talking about the Israelites, but nonetheless, you could apply that to what just happened today or even any forms of judgment, right? The Lord saying and telling you that He's laid the streets waste, made the streets waste, and cleared them out. There's only one power that can do that. It says at least 800 people have been killed and over 1,500 injured after multiple earthquakes rocked eastern Afghanistan. A 6.0 quake, the strongest, struck the Jalalabad area at around midnight local time, with tremors felt as far as Pakistan's capital, Islamabad, nearly 200 miles away. And here's some of the pictures from it. Also, like I should have said fair use under the Copyright Act of 1976. None of the articles, pictures, videos I may show in this video is being monetized. I'm not making any money off of this video. Just strictly for educational and edification purposes only. It says, these are just some of the pictures from what happened. It says, earthquake disaster. Hundreds have been killed by a devastating series of earthquakes in eastern Afghanistan. It says largest magnitude. And that's over there in Western Asia, man, right? That reminds me of what the book of Joel chapter 3 says. It says, verse 1, it says, the nations will be judged, for behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, it says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is Yahweh, which in the Hebrew means Yahweh judges, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land, right? So you got to remember, man, the Ishmaelites as well as the Edomites had a part. Really, a lot of nations, damn near all nations had a part in our downfall, the downfall of the Israelites. So right now the Lord is judging these other nations for things such as that.
Strong's H 3092. Yehoshaphat.
As I said, it said the meaning of the word is Yahweh has judged. It says, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. It's a lot of judgment and commotion going on over there in Western Asia, especially with the fact that they're having a war right now in the Gaza Strip. There was another thing that happened as well with Yemen. It says Yemen's Houthi rebels launched a missile that lands near oil tanker in the Red Sea. So it's a lot of stuff going on over there, man. Yemen is a little bit further down, of course, closer towards Africa. But there's a lot of stuff going on over there in that region. of the world right now. And this is a good picture right here, you could say. It says towns in the province of Kunar near Jalalabad and the Pakistani border were close to the epicenter. It says entire villages are reported to have been destroyed. Right. There's a scripture in the book of Job. Where is that at? In the book of Job, chapter 4, and verse 7, it says, remember, I pray thee, whoever perished, being innocent, or were with the righteous cut off, even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. By the blast of the Most High power they perish, and by the breath of his nostrils are they consumed. So we're in a place right now, man, in history where the Lord is bringing forth judgment daily. Well, as he always has done, brought forth judgment daily, but we're going to start seeing more and more cases of mass judgment take place upon the earth because of the wickedness that's going on right now, as well as the fact that we're in the latter days. So as I always say, man, don't be surprised if you start seeing these mass casualties, because back in the day, the Lord used to kill tens of thousands of people, right? This is little. And this is just a statement, right? The Lord could really get busy and turn shit up a notch, but it's just not the time right now. Salaki, I was going to get something else. I'm going to go ahead and read this article. It says entire villages are reported to have been destroyed. Filippo Grandi of the UN told Sky News that the quake has added to the perfect storm of problems plaguing Afghanistan. Like I said, says the Taliban spokesperson said that at least 800 people have been killed and more than 1,500 injured. And I just want to say something real quick. This is a little off topic, but you have reports about the Venezuela and America conflict, where America was moving ships closer and closer. I think they were trying to move some troops at the border of Colombia or something like that, or there was some type of movement there. And Venezuela is getting ready to defend their homeland, and saying that this is the biggest threat that they faced in 100 years. I'll have to look a little bit more into that, though. It says some 610 of the deaths are reported in the Kunar region and 12 from the Nangarhar province. Urgent rescue efforts are underway across several districts. Amid fears, many locals are trapped beneath rubble. Officials have said they expect the death toll to rise as they get to more affected areas, right? Because you have to remember, with all the rubble and whatnot, there can be people trapped up under there, or those that are not accounted for. So it could be well over 1,000, you never know. It says rescuers are contending with difficult, rocky terrain to reach the injured, many of whom are in isolated areas. It says a spokesperson for the Taliban government said the quake has caused loss of life and property damage in some of our eastern provinces. They added local officials and residents are currently engaged in rescue efforts for the affected people. Said support teams from the center and nearby provinces are also on their way. Many of the buildings in the area are made of mud, bricks, and wood, making them vulnerable to natural disasters. Says Jeremy Smith, British Red Cross country manager, for Afghanistan said the location of this earthquake is very remote and mountainous, which makes rescue efforts particularly challenging. They have been there have been repeated aftershocks, and more are feared in the coming days. Floods and landslides over the weekend have also affected rescue efforts. We can get this is the book of Mark, chapter 13 and verse 8, and it reads, the book of Mark, chapter 13 and verse 7, Shalaki, and it reads, and when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, I mean everywhere. And there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginnings of sorrows. But take heed to yourselves, for they shall deliver you up to councils. And in the synagogues ye shall be beaten, and ye shall be brought before rulers and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them, right? So there's going to be earthquakes all over the place. And we're seeing that, man. You know, you had a record number of earthquakes last year, and that's going to be broken this year, too. The word in the original imported the pains of a woman in travail, right? Sorrows. The earth is having birth pains right now, man. The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 9 and verse 3. Let me give verse 1. It says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made, right? Like I said, the Lord started to visit the world. And why is that? Because of the iniquity that's going on the earth. As it reads, man, like I read in my lesson yesterday, the saints have reached up to heaven. It says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Right? So the Lord declared the Lord declared the end of the world from the beginning, the end of this earth. We knew this, man. This was going to happen. So the things that are going on the earth right now, we're just measuring the times diligently, paying attention to the signs that the Lord has given us, and going with what we got from there, and everything else falling in line from the Spirit. So if you can't see that we're at the end, then the Lord has not put the Spirit on you to understand it. Okay? So I'm going to close it off there. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to those out there listening and watching. Double blessing and honors again to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. And until next time, I say Shalom Israel, Shalom. And as always, we are one day close to the kingdom, man. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. Shalom.